Glitch just released the pilot for their latest show, The Gaslight District, and I honestly think this might be the best show that they're producing. The pilot is already way crazier than all of the episodes of the amazing Digital Circus, and its teasers got me even more hyped than the ones for their other upcoming show, The Knights of Guinevere. The show is about some undead gangsters at the end of the world, but the real story is in unraveling the reasons for this apocalypse. The reasons that the old world has been destroyed, and why the people that remain are walking around as undead zombies, with some really interesting connections, of course, to real-life mythology. Now, the premise of the show is stated in the pilot's opening moments by the narrator, where he claims that the world as we know it ended eons ago. It doesn't exactly explain how this happens, but some of the images in the pilot and teasers indicate that there might have been some sort of nuclear disaster in the past. This nuclear disaster led to most of the world being seemingly destroyed, with what's left of humanity hiding on a small island in a community known as the Gaslight District. The nuclear radiation may have something to do with all of these characters being undead zombies, but it is explained in the opening moments that the real cause of this immortality is a symbol called the Black Hand. With this, you can still experience a physical death, but immediately afterwards you are revived, with all of these people, now called rotlings, experiencing the pain of the injuries as well as their ongoing rotting. We see this throughout the pilot, even with most of our main characters in The Smiling Dead, including Ken the Butcher, Mud, and Breadhead, who all get shot and then come right back to life to keep on with their shenanigans. Since they are an undead mafia family, when someone needs to be disposed of despite being immortal, it's handled in a very mafia way, with the victim being tied to some cement blocks and thrown into the water. Here, the rotling experiences drowning over and over again before immediately being brought back to life by their Black Hand sign. This is just one of the ways that even in the Gaslight District, a character can have essentially a death. It's not something they can't be rescued from, but it works well enough that they have a term for it in their world called cementing. Now, the show is called The Gaslight District, with the visual of this area being lit by gas lamps, but it of course also refers to the concept of gaslighting, of convincing people that they are crazy or that the reality they are experiencing is not real. Now, when it comes to the world ending as we know it eons ago, that part does appear to be true, with one character, Mud, making it clear that he was running into someone that he hasn't seen for over 5,000 years, with the implication being that he is much, much older than that, and that is ultimately not a very long amount of time for him. The real gaslighting here seems to be about the supposed end of the Gaslight District, with there being a well-known legend in the world that their immortality will be taken away by a human born from an angel's egg. In the show, the Gaslight District is connected rather directly to a place called Paradise Lost, which itself seems to be connected to heaven, with there being a mother angel up there who lays eggs, with one every 10,000 years hatching to reveal a human. This seems to have happened in the past, perhaps countless times, as the Gaslight District is 100% ready to try and kill this egg before it can even hatch. And that's where Mel comes in. Mel is confirmed pretty early on to be the human prophesied that will destroy the Gaslight District, but she doesn't actually want to do that. She has grown up living a relatively normal life in the Gaslight District and really just wants to be a part of that. She seems to have been adopted by Ken the Butcher, who she calls her father, but also in some cases just Ken, indicating that she does recognize that he isn't her real father. Because everyone in the Gaslight District is trying to destroy the human, however, Ken presents her as one of his 2 children, giving her a cover and a backstory while everyone is out there looking for her. Unfortunately, too many other people, including some friends of hers, learned that she was the human when they saw her bleeding, as she has black blood that is differently colored from everyone else's. Even when she just bleeds from her nose, this indicates that she is the human, and it can make even the closest people in her life freak out. They've been fed a pretty steady diet of anti-human propaganda for tens of thousands of years. So even if they grew to know Mel as a person and really adored her, her existence would signal not just their deaths, but the deaths of everyone in the world. Ken even keeps this secret from Mud and Breadhead, as he doesn't trust them not to turn on Mel once they realize the truth about her. And for Mel, this is a huge problem because the one thing she wants more than anything is to join her father's mafia group, the Smiling Dead. Her first ever mission that he allowed her to go on was just tracking down someone they knew that happened to find out her secret identity. But she puts together a new plan to protect herself even more that she thinks will lead to Ken letting her into the group as a normal member. Despite this great plan, this is actually impossible for Ken, however, because there's no mission they can do that will ever keep Mel safe. The world of the Gaslight District is a very brutal one, and being in some sort of criminal gang is only going to make it even more brutal. It's hard enough to hide the fact that she bleeds black blood already, but a big part of their missions is being able to survive actually dying, as we see with Ken, Mud, and Breadhead when they get shot early in the episode. Most people in the Gaslight District have died and been injured in so many different ways that all that remains is bone and even robotic parts that help them keep moving, with some people being revealed to be nothing but a brain attached to some mechanical parts to keep them going. Despite this, Ken allows Mel to set up one more mission, as it's one that could trick the people into thinking that the human has been destroyed, as well as gives him access to someone from long ago who already knew Mel's secret identity but had gotten away and was working at the Paradise Lost. Mel's plan is to infiltrate Paradise Lost herself and actually get one of the eggs of the Angel Mother in order to destroy it in front of everyone. In doing this, everyone will think that the human that comes once every 10,000 years was finally destroyed, and they can stop thinking about it for a very long time. Right now, Mel has already grown up quite a bit, so it seems clear that everyone is waiting for her and thinks that she's already out there waiting to destroy everything. Mel ends up meeting this Angel Mother, who is very interesting because all of the angels in the show are presented as black birds with halos. Generally, these black birds seem very harmless and just watch over the Gaslight District from the distance. The only time they seem to really interact with the people is when one of them is attacked, such as we see Breadhead do in order to create a distraction for Mel. He ends up biting one of these angel birds, and in doing so incites what they call an angel storm, where a horde of these blackbird angels all work together to attack as a group. The mother angel seems a lot more sapient in her intelligence and can even speak to Mel, recognizing her instantly as a human. She warns Mel about the prophecy and how she can't escape this, but of course Mel gets away with the egg and brings it to the audience with Ken, where they intend to destroy it. At the last minute, unfortunately, this egg hatches in front of everybody, and the pilot ends with this dark and devilish cliffhanger, where all of the residents of the Gaslight District are staring at Mel and Ken, wondering why they would want everyone to think that the human had been killed. This is the perfect setup for episode 2, which is actually really sad, because when it comes to a glitch show, we never know when the second episode is going to come, and it's often very long after the pilot. Generally speaking, the pilot is used to raise the initial funds in order to create more episodes. And with that in mind, production for episode 2 might not have even begun yet. And it can often take up to a year for production on these shows to get streamlined and get going, even then just to release one episode every few months. So that gives us plenty of time to break down the secret codes within the show, including the codes in the story itself, which makes a lot of references to real-life apocalyptic literature and conspiracy. Right now, the show doesn't take any time to explain how exactly Mel will lead to the end of the Gaslight District, but if I had to guess, it has a lot less to do with her birth and a lot more to do with her death. Death is obviously a key theme in the show, and Mel is the only one who can't actually die. Ken insists at the end of the episode that he won't let Mel become like the rest of them, like the Rotlings. But Mel may not actually even have that as a choice. With everyone else having the dark hand mark on them, Mel is the only person who can actually die, and her death might have some sort of power or effect that leads to this mark losing its ability to bring people back to life. Once Mel dies, everyone else may die right after her, all of them letting go of the agony that they've held on to for tens of thousands of years and suddenly just being a natural dead corpse. The irony here is that the Gaslight District denizens have tricked themselves into thinking that they are immortal for good reasons, that this really is some sort of paradise that they've managed to inherit when the rest of the world died. And by trying to kill the human when it's still in its egg form, they're actually putting off their own release, not just their own death, but potentially their own entrance into heaven or into a new world reborn. The story here is obviously very much inspired by real-life eschatology, the writings and prophecies that surround the end times in various cultures and religions, such as in Judaism and Christianity. In Christianity, the key theme is that humans were being prevented from going into heaven, with Jesus accusing the Pharisees of locking the gates to heaven and not even entering themselves. It is through the death of Jesus that he is able to create an opening that the rest of the world is able to enter heaven through. And Mel's death seems to be what provides that same opportunity for the Rotlings in the Gaslight District. The show is a very strong focus on the powers that want to stop Mel from completing her mission, with there of course being references to this in the Bible as well. We see this in the early stories of the life of Jesus, where he actually has to escape with his family out of Israel due to King Herod wanting to execute all of the children being born at that time to stop a prophesied Messiah from taking his place. Jesus spends his young life hidden away in Egypt, very similar to Mel having to live among the Rotlings, so that she wouldn't just be destroyed when she was an egg. The story also parallels the symbolism found in the book of Revelation, the final book in the Bible that deals specifically with the end times. In Revelations 12, this book gives the description of a woman in the heavens trying to give birth to a messianic figure. Unfortunately, however, there is a dragon that tries to hunt her down while she's in her labor, and the mother of this child having to be hidden away for over 1,200 years. Even at the time of the teasers, many fans had already speculated that this mark of the Black Hand is actually meant to be a parallel to the Mark of the Beast in the book of Revelation. This isn't described as giving people immortality, but rather there's a popular conspiracy that the false prophets and false messiahs that come before Jesus will actually mislead the world with a sort of false immortality, such as the kind we see in the show where people are technically immortal but living in a sort of hell. For me personally, having all of this information in the pilot is really fun because with a name like the Gaslight District, we know there's going to be a lot of crazy twists later, instead of just a slow walk through 8 episodes to finally reveal what the point of this story was at the very end. But what do you guys think? This is a rather quick reaction I'm making after just watching the pilot, and I definitely want to talk about it more, getting really into the mythological themes here. So subscribe to our channel so you don't miss that, and if you haven't seen it yet, go check out the episode for yourself over on the Glitch YouTube channel. If you have seen it and want to talk about the show more, and not just in the comments, be sure to come hang out with us on the Cartoon Universe Discord server, where I'll be hanging out in the Glitch Productions channel. See you guys there.
Well, 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 if it isn't my arch rival, Racer Rabbit. Shady the Bat, you're here for the magic crystal as well?
Careful, Racer! He almost beat you last time.
I guess we'll have no choice but to battle till the very end, our hands all over each other. No homo. There is no homo that I fear. Well then, may the best homo win!
Wait, what did you say?